Old bell a ring, knife and fork a fine for dumpling.
Mr. Loverman, Shabba, I can't.
La luna ya la luna wafi, como la luna kutuma fisa fi ill. Bedroom bully, for I'm and mommy.
Well, most definitely right now, from a forfeit the law of God Almighty, you deserve crucifixion. Most definitely. The Bible, I live by the concept of the Bible, which is the righteousness of every human being. And the Bible stated that man should multiply.
Ever wonder how one sentence can destroy a multi-million-dollar career? How 30 seconds of television can turn a Grammy-winning superstar into music industry poison overnight? The story of Shabba Ranks isn't just about rise and fall. It's about how the very thing that made him famous became the weapon that destroyed him. In 1992, a Jamaican dancehall king sat in the British television studio holding a Bible, about to utter words that would end his reign and nearly kill an entire genre. What he said next didn't just shock the world, it changed the course of reggae history forever. But to understand how everything fell apart, you need to know how perfectly it all began. And trust me, this story gets much darker than you think. On January 17th, 1966, in the sleepy village of Sturgetown, St. Ann Parish, Jamaica, Constance Mama Christie gave birth to a boy who would grow up to conquer the world and then watch it all burn. Rexton Ralston Fernando Gordon entered a world where music was survival, but he had no idea his voice would eventually make him millions and cost him everything. His father, Ivan Gordon, was a humble mason who worked with his hands to build other people's dreams. He died in 1990, just as his son was reaching the peak of global fame, never fully seeing the empire his boy would create. But it was Mama Christie who would become the real legend of this story, a woman whose love would transcend her son's success and failure alike. When Shabba eventually achieved international stardom, Mama Christie made a choice that defined her character. She remained in Seaview Gardens, using the money her famous son sent home to feed their entire community. This wasn't just charity. This was a mother ensuring that success lifted everyone, not just her family.
But everyone else children. Because sonny know my mother never yet cook a pot of food and our 7 pitney alone ate that.
Her generosity became so legendary that decades later, in 2015, dancehall artist Dexta Debs would immortalize her in the hit song Shabba Mada Pot, proving that sometimes the greatest legacy isn't the one you create for yourself, but the one your loved ones build in your honor.
Everybody's dropped every banana.
But first, young Rexton had to survive one of Jamaica's toughest neighborhoods. When Shabba was just 8 years old, his family made a move that would change everything. They left the peaceful countryside for Kingston's notorious Seaview Gardens, one of the most dangerous ghettos in Jamaica. This wasn't just a change of address. This was throwing a child into the heart of a musical revolution that was about to explode across the world. The sound systems that dominated Kingston streets weren't just entertainment. They were universities for future stars.
Well, Mama and Daddy started in a local parish named St. Anne's. Sturgetown on the Avenue and Railway. Then them decide to come to town, come try to make life better. So they went to Moore Street in Trenchtown. After that, my mother boom reside in Yancey Place, Olympic Gardens. Then she goes to boop and drop in a place named Compound. And that's where all of the Shabba-ology started happening.
Night after night, young Rexton absorbed the rhythms and rhymes of legends like Charlie Chaplin, Brigadier Jerry, Josie Wales, and General Echo. These weren't just DJs. They were warriors battling with words over thunderous bass lines, creating a culture that would eventually conquer dance floors from New York to London. By his teenage years, Rexton was working at the Roots Melody sound system under the guidance of Admiral Bailey.
But at 14, 15, that's when I really get introduced to the magnetic feeling of dancer. Him take me to one dance at Ebony Road in Hawaii, Roots Unlimited.
Originally performing under the name Co-Pilot, he was learning the deadly art of toasting, that distinctive Jamaican style of rhythmic talking over beats that would become his signature weapon. But the transformation from Co-Pilot to Shabba Ranks wasn't just about changing names. Something was happening to his voice. It was becoming deeper, grittier, more commanding. That gravelly tone would make him millions, but it would also deliver the words that would destroy everything he built. In 1985, Shabba released his debut single, Heat Under Sufferer's Feet, but it was the late 1980s when the explosion began. Singles like Trailer Load of Girls and Peeny Peeny established him as a force in Jamaica, but the world had no idea what was coming. More importantly, neither did a young woman named Michelle Gordon, who would soon become the most important person in his life.
And most people don't know, so when I do the song name, Easy Me Shabba, girl, you're good. I see me a talk about, I never even talk about her like me and her was into certain type of relationship, but she was a girl that was going to high school.
They met in the late 1980s, when Shabba was still climbing the ladder of success.
Yeah, man, most definitely. Me and her come from the same community, which means from compound.
Michelle wasn't impressed by the gold chains or the growing fame. She saw the man beneath the persona. Their relationship would prove to be the anchor that kept him grounded through both triumph and disaster.
Then you don't need nothing else. And I think God has blessed me with a nice family. And I don't keep friends because friends change.
In 1989, everything changed musically for Shabba when he signed with Epic Records, shifting his trajectory from local hero to global phenomenon. But here's where the story gets fascinating and tragic. His 1990 album, Just Reality, didn't just make him famous.
It's just reality. It's a barranking mind reality.
It accidentally created an entire genre. The track Dembow, produced by Bobby Digital Dixon, became so influential in Puerto Rico that early reggaeton was simply known as Dembow.
Dembow, dembow, dembow. Man on the table, me say that dembow.
Shabba had unknowingly fathered a musical movement that would dominate Latin music for decades, and he barely made any money from it. But none of that mattered when 1991 arrived, because that's when Shabba released the song that would define his entire existence, Mr. Loverman.
The track was originally recorded with singer Deborah Glasgow,
who tragically passed away young. When Shabba re-recorded it in 1992 with Chevelle Franklin, the world wasn't ready for what hit them. That infectious chorus became unstoppable, conquering dance floors from Kingston to New York to London. Radio couldn't stop playing it. Clubs couldn't function without it. His album, As Raw as Ever, didn't just succeed, it exploded, peaking at number 51 on the UK albums chart and winning him his first Grammy Award for Best Reggae Album.
Shabba ranks, who get 2 Grammy for dancehall music in America.
Shabba had officially arrived as reggae royalty. The success was intoxicating. In 1992, his follow-up album, Extra Naked, earned him a 2nd consecutive Grammy, making history as one of the first dancehall artists to achieve such recognition. Songs like Ting-a-Ling cemented his status as the undisputed king of dancehall. It was also in 1992 that Shabba made the most important decision of his personal life. Despite the chaos of international fame, he married Michelle Gordon, the woman who had been by his side since the late 1980s. Their March 1992 wedding wasn't just a celebration of love, it was a statement that some things mattered more than fame. But success has a dark side, and Shabba was about to learn that the higher you rise, the harder you fall. Collaborations flowed like water. House Call with Maxi Priest blended dancehall with soulful reggae. Slow and Sexy with R&B star Johnny Gill brought Jamaican rhythms into American bedroom playlists. He appeared on the Addams Family Values soundtrack with Family Affair, a reggae-fied version of the Sly and the Family Stone classic, rubbing shoulders with Hollywood royalty. By the early 1990s, Shabba was living the dream that most artists only fantasize about. Gold chains around his neck, luxury cars in his driveway, international tours, selling out massive venues. The boy from Seaview Gardens was now collaborating with everyone from KRS-One
to Chuck Berry. Meanwhile, back home, Mama Christie was making sure his success benefited everyone in their community. But success was breeding something dangerous: arrogance. And arrogance was about to breed the biggest mistake in reggae history. The year was 1992, and Channel 4's music show The Word was known for pushing boundaries and creating controversy. When they invited Shabba Ranks to discuss fellow Jamaican artist Buju Banton's controversial hit, Boom Bye Bye, they thought they were getting standard reggae commentary from the genre's biggest star. They had no idea they were about to witness career suicide on live television.
Sitting in that British television studio, Shabba made a decision that would haunt him for decades. When asked about his thoughts on Buju Banton's homophobic lyrics, Shabba picked up the Bible he always carried and declared that the Word of God advocated the crucifixion of homosexuals.
From a forfeit the law of God Almighty, you deserve crucifixion. Most definitely.
The studio fell silent. Host Mark Lamar immediately condemned him, saying,
"That's absolute crap and you know it."
No, I will never.
You can't advocate.
But the damage was already done. In 30 seconds, Shabba had destroyed not just his own career, but nearly killed an entire genre. The fallout was swift and brutal. Within hours, Shabba was dropped from a Bobby Brown concert lineup. Sony Music, his own label, distanced themselves from their Grammy-winning star.
And they went after Shabba Ranks with a vengeance. So wherever Shabba was performing, they would alert the promoter that he's homophobic.
The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, where Shabba was scheduled to make a major appearance, canceled his booking after urgent discussions between Jay Leno, producer Debbie Vickers, and crew members who were appalled by his comments.
Shabba was canceled from the Jay Leno show. He was canceled from Arsenio Hall and was canceled from a lot of television shows.
But the real devastation wasn't just to Shabba's career, it was to dance hall itself. Concert organizers worldwide began canceling shows featuring Jamaican artists. Record labels dropped entire rosters. In some cases, visas and work permits for Jamaican performers were revoked or denied outright. A genre that had been fighting for mainstream acceptance was suddenly branded as violent and homophobic. Promoters became so terrified that they started requiring artists to sign contracts promising not to include controversial lyrics in their performances. For dancehall, which had always prided itself on raw, unfiltered expression, this was cultural censorship on a massive scale. The industry that Shabba had helped build was now rejecting him and everything associated with him. Realizing the magnitude of his mistake, Shabba issued a public apology, admitting that his comments could be seen as advocating the killing of gays and lesbians and any human being. But in the unforgiving world of international media, some words can never be taken back. His career went into freefall. Follow-up albums struggled to gain any traction. Ami Shabba, released in 1995, spawned singles like Ram Dance Hall and Let's Get It On, but the magic was gone. Radio stations were hesitant to play his music. MTV stopped showing his videos. By 1996, Epic Records dropped him entirely. The man who had conquered the world with his voice was now radioactive to the very industry he had helped create. The personal cost was devastating, but Shabba had something that many fallen stars don't. Michelle, now Michelle Ranks, who had married him at the height of his success and refused to abandon him at his lowest point. Together, they focused on building a family, welcoming their two sons, Rexton Jr. and Jawan, who would become their reason to keep fighting. For years, silence became his strategy. No concerts, no interviews, no new albums. The king of dancehall had been dethroned by his own words, and the exile felt permanent. But Michelle and their growing family gave him a reason to survive the wilderness years. But music has a way of calling its children home, and Shabba's story was far from over. The first sign of life came in 2007 when Busta Rhymes reached out to collaborate on Clear the Air, a track that also featured Akon. It was Shabba's first major appearance in years, and it reminded the world why his voice had been so influential in the first place. That gravelly tone could still command attention, still make people move. The comeback accelerated in 2011 with the release of None of Dem on Big Ship's Pepper Rhythm. Then in 2012, he appeared on Tech Nine's EP, EBAH, with the track Boy Toy. showing he could still adapt to new sounds and connect with younger audiences.
Should not be one you take to moms, unless your mom's a toxic face.
But the moment that truly brought Shabba back into the global spotlight came in 2013, and it came from the most unexpected place, hip-hop. A$AP Ferg released a hit song called Shabba, paying direct homage to the dancehall legend.
Shabba, Shabba, Shabba. Oh man.
The track didn't just mention him, it celebrated him, introducing his name to an entirely new generation. Shabba not only appeared in the music video, but later joined Migos and Busta Rhymes on the official remix. Suddenly, millennials who had never heard of the controversy were discovering the king of dancehall. His influence was undeniable. Hip-hop artists were sampling his work, dancehall was experiencing a global resurgence, and younger artists were acknowledging his pioneering role in creating the sound they loved. But Shabba had learned hard lessons about the industry, and his next decision proved just how much he had grown. In 2013, BET invited Shabba to be part of a reggae and dancehall tribute during their summer awards show. The lineup was impressive. Don Penn, Shaggy, Chakademus and Pliers, Beanie Man, and Elephant Man, all performing in Los Angeles. Fans were excited to see Shabba make a rare television appearance. But when the night came, Shabba was nowhere to be found. His explanation revealed how much both he and the industry had changed. BET wanted him to share the stage with 4 or 5 other artists simultaneously, with no solo spotlight and no red carpet walk.
And they're telling me that me and 5 person or me and 4 person have to be on stage. And I said to myself, Shabba ranks who get 2 Grammy for dancehall music in America. It not take me and 5 other Jamaican artists to present dancehall music in a one format. When Mariah Carey get her own stage, whosoever get them own stage. I should get my own stage because you see my garments, I want to walk on the red carpet, and kick out my foot and make them sister boy me about my pretty shoes.
For Shabba, this wasn't just about ego, it was about respect. He believed dancehall deserved to be represented at the highest level, not treated as a novelty act to be pulled out whenever convenient.
For years, them have music, I push it in a little corner and try to take it out when them feel like. I am not for that.
Rather than compromise his principles, he chose dignity over exposure. Fellow Jamaican artist Patra made the same decision, also declining due to BET's handling of the genre. This incident reveals the evolution of Shabba Ranks. The man who had once destroyed his career with impulsive words was now making calculated decisions based on respect and self-worth. He had learned that sometimes the most powerful statement is the one you choose not to make. While Shabba was rebuilding his reputation one careful step at a time, something remarkable was happening to the genre he had helped create and nearly destroyed. In London, an unexpected revolution was taking place. Gay DJs and clubgoers were reclaiming dancehall, reshaping its image, and breaking down the toxic narrative that had haunted it for decades. The very community that Shabba's words had targeted was now healing the genre through acceptance and celebration. Cartel Brown, a respected DJ on London's club circuit with residencies including Belicious, the city's biggest gay urban night, witnessed this transformation firsthand. During the early 2000s, many Jamaicans fleeing their country's harsh anti-gay laws had settled in London. Finding the nightlife lacking the energy they craved, they created their own private bashment parties in South London. These underground gatherings grew into a cultural movement. London-born kids started speaking patois, eating Jamaican food, dressing in dancehall styles, and dancing like bashment queens. What began as marginalized spaces exploded into packed mainstream clubs throughout the city. Today, dancehall is a staple sound at some of London's biggest nights, from Belicious to the weekly party Misfits, which mixes dancehall with Afrobeats, R&B, and electronic music. For many younger fans, Shabba's controversy is ancient history. They know dancehall as party music that makes them feel alive,
not as a genre defined by hatred.
This cultural reclamation proves something powerful, that art can evolve beyond the artists who create it, and communities can heal wounds through love and acceptance. In recent years, Shabba has made carefully chosen appearances that remind the world of his enduring influence. In April 2024, he performed at a special event honoring Beverly Kelso, the last surviving member of Bob Marley's original Wailers. His presence wasn't just a performance, it was a statement about honoring reggae history and his rightful place within it. In August 2024, Shabba took the stage at England's Reggae Land Festival, marking his first major UK performance in years. The crowd's response proved that his music had transcended the controversy, connecting with audiences who valued the art over the artist's past mistakes. Later that November, he appeared at the Reggae Love Fest in New York City, further cementing his return to live performance. These weren't desperate comeback attempts. They were victory laps by a man who had survived career suicide and emerged humbled but unbroken. Today, at 59 years old, Shabba Ranks lives a life dramatically different from the chaotic fame of his peak years. Based primarily in New York City, he and Michelle have now been married for 32 years, a testament to a love that survived both the intoxication of success and the humiliation of failure. Their sons, Rexton Jr. and Jawan, have grown up understanding both their father's mistakes and his redemption.
If it wasn't for music, then I wouldn't have that double life. I wouldn't have a nice wife and two beautiful sons. I know they give me a bigger responsibility beyond music.
Gone are the wild parties and relentless tours, replaced by quiet evenings with family and close friends. The man who once wore controversy like armor now focuses on giving back, quietly supporting local charities and youth programs, helping the next generation discover their potential through music and education. His mother's legacy continues to inspire him. Though Mama Christina has passed away, her spirit of caring for others lives on through his son's philanthropy, just as her memory lives on in Dexter Dapp's tribute song, Shabba Madapat. Spiritually, Shabba has found strength in the same faith that once led him astray. He often speaks about how his relationship with God helped him heal from past mistakes and find purpose beyond fame. The Bible that once held destructive words now offers redemption and guidance. As of 2025, Shabba Ranks' estimated net worth stands between $1 million and $2 million, a figure that reflects both his massive success during the 1990s and the financial realities of a career interrupted by controversy. His assets include properties in Jamaica and the United States, including a luxurious home in Miami, Florida, and a recording studio in Kingston, Jamaica. His annual income is primarily derived from music royalties, streaming revenues, and live performances, estimated to be around $500,000 per year. While this might seem modest compared to other artists of his generation, it represents something more valuable: financial stability earned through talent and maintained through wisdom. The man who once sang Mr. Loverman to sold-out stadiums may no longer chase chart position, but he has achieved something perhaps more precious: respect, earned through redemption. His voice still appears on collaborations and soundtrack appearances, proving his enduring relevance to new generations of artists. His legacy extends far beyond his own recording. The dembow rhythm he helped create became the foundation of reggaeton, influencing everyone from Daddy Yankee to Bad Bunny. Hip-hop stars continued to sample his work and pay homage to his influence. Even his mother's memory lives on in songs like Shabba Madapat, connecting his family story to dancehall's ongoing evolution. When Shabba speaks now, there's a calm wisdom in his words that wasn't there during his peak fame. He admits the mistakes of the past, but focuses on the lessons they taught him. Music is life, but life is bigger than music, he often says. A perspective that shows the growth of a man who understands what truly matters.
Unless I commit myself, so music multiply life for me. It gave me another life.
The story of Shabba Ranks serves as both cautionary tale and redemption narrative. It reminds us that even legends are human, capable of both transcendent art and devastating mistakes. But it also proves that with humility, time, genuine change, and the love of people like Michelle and his family, even the deepest wounds can heal. From the sound systems of Kingston to global Grammy recognition, from career-ending controversy to spiritual redemption, Shabba's journey demonstrates that the greatest strength lies not in never falling, but in how you rise after hitting bottom. The king of dancehall may no longer rule the chart, but his influence echoes through every reggaeton beat, every dancehall anthem, and every artist brave enough to speak their truth through music. His gravelly voice, once used to wound, now serves as a reminder that words have power, the power to destroy, but also the power to heal.